Welcome everyone for our Digital Twins Hackathon information webinar. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. I'm Anne from UltraHack and I support our partner organization in making this hackathon happen. Quickly covering what's up with the program today. If you're joining us and you were not quite sure yet what we were going to cover, well, it's going to be quite straightforward and simple. We are first, obviously, in the part of the opening words. And once that's over with me, we'll move on to our partners out with me in the studio for some quick introduction of themselves. Then we'll dive into the hot topic of this hackathon, meaning the challenge presentation. We'll cover the four of them and make sure you understand what are the ins and outs so you can pick which challenge you want to work on and think about what project you might develop for each of these or the one you pick. Then we'll have a great keynote speaker to conclude this official program of our webinar. And I will come back to cover some more practical things about how the hackathon days are going to go and moreover how to make sure you are well registered for the hackathon, ready to participate with the team, etc. These kinds of very down to earth topics we'll cover at the end, so make sure you stay with us until then. And if you have any questions that were not answered before, we'll cover them at the end, but especially during the challenge presentations. Feel free to put your questions in the different chats of the platforms you are on, and we will bring them to the speakers so they can answer them as we go. For all the more practical questions and overall questions, we'll take them at the end, but it doesn't mean you can't already type them in the chat. We'll keep an eye on for it. And here are the practicalities of our webinar. Welcome again, everyone. Thank you for being here. And I leave the words to our partner organizations. Helmi?
Yes, so thank you on our behalf as well. So we will now introduce ourselves. As Anne just told you, I'm Helmi Tuori from Forum Virium Helsinki, the innovation company of City of Helsinki. And here with me also the project manager from Stara, Toni Liikamaa, and then Anna-Stina as well. But I'll start first with our own organization. So Forum Virium is a city-owned innovation company, as I already said. And our three main focus areas are smart city, smart mobility, and open data and IoT. We have approximately 60 experts working in Helsinki, and our operations are funded by the City of Helsinki and different EU project funding instruments. We function as a partner, as a bridge between the City of Helsinki and companies, research institutes, and city residents as well. We have different tools for engaging all these groups, and here you see some of the examples of those activities as well. And here we are today because of our LEADI2 project, a project that enables services through digital twins. But now I will give word to Stara's project manager, Toni.
Yes, so I'm Toni Liikamaa from Stara. Stara is Helsinki City's own construction service that is divided in 6 different departments, approximately having 1,400 professionals working in all of them together. So the departments are city construction, city maintenance, construction engineering, environment management, logistics, and administration. So, what should I say more about Stara? Stara is Helsinki's own service provider. That's all about it.
And next, my turn. Hello, everyone. I'm Anna-Stina Tähkävuori from Metropolia University of Applied Sciences and one of the organizers in this hackathon, together with Virium Helsinki Stara in collaboration with Urban Tech Helsinki and Kira Hub. Metropolia is Finland's largest university of applied sciences and educates future professionals in the fields of business, culture, healthcare and social services and technology. Metropolia is a community of around 17,000 students and more than 1,000 experts. In addition to educational activities, the mission of our University of Applied Sciences is to promote and support the development of the Helsinki metropolitan area and our society through research, development, and innovation solutions. We have 5 phenomenon-based innovation hubs that bring together actors from different fields and sectors, companies, research institutes, cities, organizations, residents of the region, as well as Metropolia students, lecturers, and other experts to learn, research, develop, and innovate together. I'm leading our data-driven construction innovation hub that will give also the Where Cycle challenge in this hackathon, and you will hear more about it later on in this launch. The final hackathon event will be held in our Myllypuro Smart Campus in the eastern Helsinki, where also the Smart Home Research Testbed is located. That will be the main platform in the Smart Lab challenge in this hackathon. And Skanska and ABB will present this more in the next challenge introduction. I want to warmly welcome you all to hear more about this event today, and hopefully we will meet you soon in our campus in the end of November. Thank you.
Okay, hello, can you hear me? I think it's time for the first challenge description. My name is and I'm here now presenting Skanska's and ABB challenge for the digital hackathon, digital twin hackathon together with Sakari Hannikka. So the background, together with Skanska, ABB and Metropolia, we have constructed a smart home development laboratory is to pilot and experiment various smart home solutions to be applied in residential development in order to make life simpler, smarter, and more sustainable. Together, we want to create the prerequisites now with the energy crisis we have at hand. Sustainability, both in the context of ecology and economy, is becoming increasingly important for residents and consumers. As the main theme of this challenge is primarily user-centric, we're not specifically looking for new IoT solution or additional gadgets. We are looking for innovative solutions which are centered around the user to enhance the smarter living ecosystem, to create prerequisites social relationships, provide for related needs, or motivate people to live more responsibly, for example, in a playful or educational way. We hope that you find this challenge really interesting and inspiring, and we at Skanska and ABB ABB are eagerly awaiting your ideas and solutions for this challenge. Next, I will which are embedded in Smart Lab.
Hello, from the Tampere's office. I have here some studio. I give also trainings here. Welcome from my side also. I am from technical support of smart building products, so like these home automation systems. We have at Skanska Smart Lab many different systems from ABB. Mostly we have here ABB free at home automation system. It's like closed ABB's own home automation, but we can also have like free connection from API interface to it. So we can use our own gadgets or programs to control also that free at home system. Although we have also parallel with free at home installed to Skanska Smart Lab this ABB IBUS KNX system. This KNX system is open, so you can also connect different brand of devices to the KNX system. So we have also at Smart Lab all ABB's devices, but also some other manufactured devices like controlling air conditioning and cooling. So you have plenty of opportunities to connect different things, and you can also get all the data from these systems. So you can get like temperature data from the free at home system. From the KNX you can collect much more data like air quality and so on. So we can give you very much data like living at an apartment. But we can also collect energy data from the Smart Lab. So we have energy meters that are connected to ABB Ecomatic Energy Analyzer. And we can also add like water meters, also the same system, so we can get also that kind of data from the Smart Lab. And top of all, we have ASPAR SCADA visualization server installed there, and it's not our ABB product. It's made by Alexander Meyer company, but this ASPAR SCADA have possibilities to connect many different systems together. So we can connect like KNX, and we can connect many different systems like HVAC system to the free at home or to the KNX. So we can transfer data to different ways. And this one have also capability to use MTTQ. So we have like open interface to connect to the outside world and like IoT world also. So you can make many different gadgets or programs to control or collecting data or showing data from the Smart Lab. So if you have any questions about these our systems, I am pleased to help, because I have been at a Smart Lab like from the beginning, so I know all the systems that are inside there. So that's all from my side.
Thank you, Miro and Sakari. I apologize for the bad connection in this presentation, but like Sakari said, if you have any questions, you can put them on chat, and we will get back to you later on. And now it's time for the second challenge presentation, and this is the challenge from Metropolia, and the challenge will be presented our principal lecturer Seppo Törmä.
Okay, I will. Thanks. I will share my screen. Okay. So let's start. So the the name of our challenge is Recycle. So the question we are trying to answer is when recycling is sensible, especially recycling of building parts when we demolish a building. So as we all know, the built environment is responsible for a huge portion of the global CO2 emissions, and recycling would be a way to reduce the emissions of new buildings. So if we could utilize the parts of the demolished buildings instead of making new parts in new buildings, we could perhaps even significantly reduce the carbon footprint. So we already have various kinds of digital twins of buildings. But in the future, it's quite obvious that all the digital twins will be based on the BIM models of the buildings. There's quite an extensive set of data that has been produced in the design stage of the building, and which contains a detailed information about each part of the building. So it's not just the kind of surface model of the overall building, but it contains model of each part of the building, and it specifies the location of that part, the structure, the geometry, materials, and other properties of each particular part. And this information could be utilized when we are recycling the parts when we are about to demolish a building. And again, we would save the carbon footprint of the new part if we could recycle the old part. Now, the thing that complicates this this goal of recycling is that recycling involves all kinds of activities like disassembly, transportation, potential storage, and installation of the component. And each of these activities also have a carbon footprint. And it's quite obvious that recycling doesn't make sense if the carbon footprint of these recycling activities is greater than the carbon footprint of the part, or let's say a corresponding new part. And now the question that we would like to answer is how to determine what are sensible recycling options. And the challenge is to come up with some kind of a solution that makes sense, that shows when it makes sense to reuse the parts of demolished building, considering especially the carbon footprint. But of course, there could be also other aspects, like possibly also include the use of raw materials as one criteria here. And there are all kinds of solutions might be appropriate. You could visualize the area where or the distances where the recycling makes sense on a map, or there could be a consideration of different transportation options, ranking of potentially upcoming construction sites, or some solutions for flexible user interaction that users can explore the different options for recycling. So what if these four concrete elements would be transported as one shipment, and so on. And all kinds of realism of the evaluation would be greatly appreciated in this challenge. And the group will be provided with a BIM model of an example building and a tool that can be used to make information takeoffs from that model. And we believe that it would be very useful to utilize the open data of the emissions database for construction, so co2data.fi. And also there can be other tools that could be utilized, like OpenStreetMap or something like that, if map visualizations are wanted, and so on. But this is, of course, depends on the decisions and designs of the of each group. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Seppo, for the very interesting challenge introduction. And now we move on to our challenges. We have 2 challenges coming up for you in the Digital Twins Hackathon. And as I told already in the introduction, earlier, Forum Virium Helsinki and Stara offer these 2 challenges I'm about to tell you, and Toni is about to tell you more, under the umbrella of LEAD2, a project called Digital Twins Enabling Mobility Innovation. I always need to check that, so I have it written down here. But now, this is now the first challenge. And the name is Overcome Winter Conditions to Improve Equal Urban Mobility. And you also see here the keywords winter maintenance and mobility equity, mobile equity. And this is kind of in the core of this first challenge. A little bit about the background. The winter conditions can be quite challenging in the urban environment here in Helsinki, in Finland, for those traveling by foot, bike, or scooter, or those with reduced mobility. So elderly people, or for example, mothers with little children, and so on. The city of Helsinki is divided into maintenance areas, and within these areas, the streets and allies further are divided into maintenance classes. And there are then different prioritizations for those, for driveways and sidewalks. And the priority in winter maintenance, such as snow removal, is dependent on those classes and classifications. Currently, the maintenance plans are quite static, and the problem with this lies there that the street areas are bluffed, like the snow is removed. I can't pronounce that word. But the snow is removed always in the same order. So it starts from the certain point in the city area, in the maintenance area, and the fleet moves from there on. In a workshop done within the LEAD2 project in the springtime, we collected some insight from companies what data they would like to have now concerning the digital twin, for example. And the answer was that data on road infrastructure, surfaces, and maintenance operations would be very useful. And of course, if it would be possible, even real time. So, and there were also shown interest to create better and equal accessibility of traffic routes for everyone. So of course we took advice from that feedback, and the need of data told us there in that workshop, and worked on based on that. Also, Stara is really interested in developing the maintenance work planning and also execution with help of data available. So the objectives would be that Stara's current workflow could be maybe adjusted to a more proactive way of doing, still so that the good quality would be held, so that Stara could react more easily to condition changes, for example, or even then change the prioritization of the winter maintenance work itself. So that's basically it. And I want to point out that we are now especially interested in the routes for pedestrian and cyclists. So this is a kind of a bit of a new angle, if you want to say that so. And possible outcomes. We in the LEAD2 project understand the digital twin throughout three aspects. We know that there is infrastructure data, traffic-related data, and condition-related data. And we will offer you data samples and data sets from all of these angles. And we hope that you are happy with that and can do something very innovative based on that. And there you also see a bit what kind of data we speak of, like it's geospatial data and, for example, data on maintenance vehicles, their routes and stuff like that. And you can also see we have presented some examples on the possible outcomes, and you can find them also on the hackathon page on ultrahack.org. So I just want to say that we do appreciate very innovative solutions, and so feel free to be innovative. These are just examples now. And now I give the word to Toni.
Yes, and the second challenge from the Stara is reboot logistics, optimizing for sustainable supply chains. So Stara has been in a few hackathons before, and usually we have had some kind of a problem we came into the hackathon. This time we want to embrace the logistics department great work during the pandemic. So we are offering data from that time. So we want to see this time what we can do with the data we offer in the challenge. Could we make something easier or faster? Or could we drive somebody else's stuff, not only our own, in the city of Helsinki? So we are looking for innovative data utilizing scalable solutions to develop reliability and efficiency for deliveries. And there's no one possible outcomes in this challenge. We are open for all kinds of outcomes with the data we are offering. So some of them are listed in the below. That's about it in a nutshell. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And now it's time for us to move on to our keynote. We have covered all of the challenges. Thank you again, partners, for the presentations. I hope it has opened your appetite for the hackathon. Now, a bit of a keynote for you. I hope you find it as interesting as we did.
All right. So actually, we were supposed to have Damon Hernandez, the founder of AEC Hackathon, here as a keynote speaker, but unfortunately, Damon is on an airplane at the moment, and of course, we don't have such a good connections to the airplane yet, so it was impossible to get him to give this talk. But I'm happy to cover for him. I'm Teemu Lehtinen from KiraHub, and I'm also been the Finnish lead for the AEC hackathons for the past 7 years. So I will tell a little story from my perspective and my experience, why hackathons are so great in innovating, in changing industries, and also building communities. Little background from myself. So I'm CEO of KiraHub. We're focusing on accelerating sustainable digital transformation of the built environment sector. I will also be one of the mentors during the hackathon weekend with you guys. Before KiraHub, I was the chief digital officer for Kira Digi project. I also have been involved in 2 not that successful startups over the years. I studied information networks at Aalto University, continued on with my doctoral studies about understanding integration of complex projects in the construction sector. I also visited Stanford University twice as a visiting scholar, 2012 and 2014. And actually there I got to know this AEC hackathon community that got started there in California 2013. And started building the community around the AEC hackathons in Finland, starting 2015 when I came back from California. And I have 2 boys at home, 10 and 7-year-olds who kind of keep the balance in life. So here's where everything started with for the AEC hackathon, actually at the Facebook headquarters in Menlo Park. This is a picture from actually not first but second hackathon weekend where I was happy to participate. And there was also a couple of Finns there involved as one of the hack teams. They traveled all the way from Finland to California just to participate this hackathon for architecture, engineering, and construction. And that's where it all started. So for me, it was really a mind-blowing experience to see how this weekend event can actually have an impact for industry professionals, having really a low threshold event for matchmaking technology providers, developers, programmers to industry professionals from the construction sector, from the real estate sector. And I really kind of started thinking that we should have something like this in Finland as well. Started organizing those as a hobby, as a weekend hobby. We've had 5 AEC hackathons, official AEC hackathons in Finland with over 500 participants, around 40 speakers, 50 hackathon projects. And from those projects, at least 3 startups have emerged as new businesses. These hackathons have also always been a great way to experience and try the latest technologies before anyone else. Actually, Damon, who founded this AEC hackathon movement, have been bringing all the latest tech to these hackathons before they were more widely available. So back in 2015, we had HTC Vive, 2016 Microsoft HoloLens, 2018 Magic Leap, and then of course Finnish Vario as well. This is a picture of the first AEC hackathon in Finland at Tekla headquarters back in 2015. So really excited crowd already in the first one. This is the second one from Sweco 2016. A lot of excitement in the air with a Sweco team in the picture. This one we actually did together with UltraHack and City of Helsinki back in 2017. Then we decided to do a little Finnish tour around different cities as well. So this one we took to Tampere area. And the 5th one we did together with the housing fair in Jätkäsaari. And this was quite special because the teams got to pitch their projects in the stage just before the kind of the greatest musical act of the event, Mikael Gabriel. So it was an audience full of young girls waiting eagerly for the Mikael Gabriel to have his show, and these hackathon teams were able to pitch for them. Sometimes kind of even big things can happen. This was actually the next day, Monday morning, when I woke up after one of the AEC hackathons. Helsingin Sanomat, the biggest newspaper in Finland, had this article about Peter Westerbacka and building a tunnel between Helsinki and Tallinn that he actually announced at the hackathon, and then somebody posted or tweeted about it over the weekend, and then the journalist from Helsingin Sanomat took that tweet and called him, and then this article was born. Why hackathons are so great in changing the industries and innovating? It's all about the mindset and kind of getting out of your 9-to-5 working environment to have time to do something else with other people that, your colleagues. It's all about community as well. This is actually in the photo, you can see 2 superheroes from Sweco that has been really active in the hackathon scene and bringing that same culture and mindset to their own organization at Sweco. And nowadays they're actually organizing internal developer days where they integrate the different country teams from Sweco, over 100 people joining some place at a time to hack Sweco's internal processes and solutions. It's also a great platform for experimentation. So, I mean, people usually think that what can you achieve in 48 hours? And it's not much time, but actually you can achieve quite a lot. There's so many new ideas, and then you still have some time to kind of test it in practice, to implement at least part of it in practice and demonstrate what can be possible. And of course, it's great to win a hackathon as well. There's great prizes, and it's great to have a smile on your face. But in the end, actually, every participant is a winner. So maybe to finalize, and hopefully many of you will attend this hackathon, and looking forward to see you there. Of course, you won't change the industry over a weekend, but you can definitely start a movement that will eventually change the industry. So good luck, have fun, and learn something new. Hope to see you there. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Teemu. I definitely share your passion for a hackathon as a hackathon organizer myself. It's great. He made all the right points. I don't need to cover all of these things again. Just come with an open mind and enjoy your weekend is going to be the motto of the hackathon. And little brooks make great rivers is probably the second one. In terms of practicalities, to get a bit more down to earth now about how and what is going to happen during the hackathon and before we get there. In terms of timeline, so from now until the 13th of November, we are still in the registration period. So go there, register yourself, look at other people's profile, find yourself a team, talk about it in your network, even to people you're not particularly friends with, people that work in your company that you're not colleagues with. They might be interested in joining you in the experience and trying something new, working on these topics and helping the city being a better place for everyone to live in. Registration deadline is going to be on the 13th, midnight, so 23:59. After that, we will review everyone's submission, meaning what is your preliminary project ID for the challenge that you have chosen with your teammates. By the 16th, 17th of November, we will contact everyone with the selection of the teams. We will take as many of you as possible in the hackathon, in as many teams as possible, but we want to make sure everyone is highly motivated. So we put teeny bit of selection there, but I wouldn't be too worried if I were you. Just put in the work and put your best foot forward in your introductions and project submissions, and you'll get in no time. Following that, on the 21st of November, we will have an online onboarding sessions for the teams, just so we cover the schedule, you know where to go, what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and you're on top of it, and there are no surprises during the hackathon. You can just have tunnel vision on your project development. Then for the hackathon weekend, well, just come and we'll get hacking. That's for the timeline. Now, if we want to look at how to get yourself a great team, well, the first thing you need to do is to, well, go on the website to register yourself. That's for sure always the first step. And everyone has to register individually, meaning even though you already have a team, you need to first make your own profile, register yourself individually. You can create a team. And from there, we will be able or to match you with other people, or you already have your team, you can create it and invite these people to your team. How you do that? You do that by browsing on the registration webpage, either the submissions, meaning the project IDs of other people and their team, or by browsing other participants' profile, meaning people that are also like you, looking for a team. So read these presentations and get chatting with these people. You can directly from the website request to join teams. There is a button for it, so you just click it, type your message, and hope for the best. Once again, the deadline for registering yourself or your team is the 13th. And after that, we'll move on with team selection and onboarding sessions. But throughout this period, I would still advise you to look at what your preliminary project ID is, look at the different data sets that will be provided for each challenge to get a better idea of what you could do with it. The more you nurture this preliminary ID, the more chances you have to do great during the hackathon. It's still a competition. Let's look a bit at the website and how you can register yourself. Let's do a little demo for you. So there are no surprises. So here is the registration platform. If you don't yet have a profile on our registration platform, then please register. Registration process is fairly easy. You just need an email address and a password. Password is always the hardest bit, apparently. Once that's done, basic profile setup, what's mandatory is just for a name and a last name, a phone number, so we can contact you if there are any changes, which will help you find a team, a birth date, so we know you are adults, and then some demographics. But if you don't want to answer these questions, you can always find your way around them. Finally, you can put a nice profile picture to attract other participants to your profile, or decide to subscribe to Ultra Hacks. And I want to highlight this. This is just Ultra Hacks newsletter about all the hackathon coming up. If you want to get more information about the other challenge partners, then go to their page and subscribe to their newsletters. Once that's done, you have your profile. You can put more information. I highly advise you to describe who you are in here, and that's more about yourself. If you have a specific degree, education, feel free to add some things there. We ask for country and city of residence. Once again, it's just some basic demographics, so we can look at what type of audience participated to the hackathon. Once again, you can keep putting more information to your profile if you want to share your LinkedIn to make other people interested in your profile, GitHub, if you have a website, anything goes. And finally, the last step of setting up your profile, once again, you can skip all of these steps, is some sliders about some basic skills and domain of expertise. So you can just slide them in at your degree of proficiency. And then you are done setting up your profile. Now, you have a profile, you want to register to a hackathon. So I invite you to go back to hackathons. And the one we are looking at is Digital Twins Hackathon today. There is a big red button that says apply to the hackathon on top of the page. Then you have all the information about the hackathon. You can look again at the descriptions of each of the challenges. There is a nice video to explain things to you, more text about it, some resources that we talked about. And once you've found the challenge you want or you already know it, you can apply either from the challenge card, the top of the page, or the bottom of the page. All of these buttons take you to the same place. Your next step is to choose a path. Either you already have team, teammates, or a project ID, and in that case, you want to go with the create a team path, or you're looking for a team, it's just you and your interest in the hackathon, and then you choose the join a team path. For the sake of the presentation, I'm going to create a team so you see all the steps. Once you create a team, you are offered to update your profile to the current hackathon if you already had a profile for another hackathon of ours. And then comes the time to create your team. The hardest question you have to answer is, what is your team name? Definitely need to put a lot of thoughts into it. And then you have this nice little box to invite people. So all you have to do, if you already have teammates, is to type their email address in there. And once you're done, if you have several people that you want to invite, either you type enter or you put a semicolon or any type of demarcation that makes the system understand that you're going to invite several people. It will automatically send invitations emails for these people directly to their inbox, so you don't have to worry about it. And they will get a link that's inviting them to create a profile on the registration platform and join your team. Then comes the step where you can already create your project ID if you have one for your team. Even though you don't quite know yet what to do and you just have team and teammates, I highly advise you, especially if you're looking to onboard other people in your team, to put something there. So you can just put placeholder text, placeholder text, placeholder text type of situation. You will be able to update that later because it's just so much easier for people to find your team and find your registration if you have a placeholder project. So type whatever. If you're very sensitive about the information you're going to put, because it's actually a very fleshed out project idea already, you can choose to hide all the things, then the quick summary and the title you're giving to your project. So you can hide it. If it's red, hidden, people will only see title and summary. If it's not, then they have access to a bit more information about what you're thinking about doing, meaning what's the problem you want to solve, what solution you have to it, and a bit more description about said solution. Last step of creating your project is to choose which challenge your project is for. For matter of example, there you go, you have registered. All the steps are the same if you're registering as an individual looking for a team, except, well, the project and team creation page. And if you're an individual looking for a team, you can choose multiple challenges to register your interest to. So you're increasing your chances of actually finding a team if you're not picky about the challenge. Very well. Just to finalize, ingredients to a great team. Well, a team is always better as a group of 2 people minimum. That's what we are going to call an eligible team. Then we advise between 3 and 5 people for a good team size to split the work. The only requirement we really have for this hackathon is to be an adult to participate. And once again, friends, colleagues, people from your company and your networks will make for great teammates. So word of mouth is the #1 way to get people involved in hackathon. More information on how to base your research for teammates, but I'm sure you'll get around it just fine. Remember, preparation is key. If you have an idea, look into it, look into data, do some audience research already on your own. The more prepared, the better. Registration deadline 13th of November. Team selection around 16th, 17th of November. If you have any problem with registering yourself, any practical questions about the hackathon, you can contact me, Andel Goulet. Here is my email address. You can also contact my colleague, Jana Haggard, who's helping me out on this project at UltraHack. We'll help you if you have any problems, if you stumble, if you need support finding teammates. Well, this concludes our information webinar. If you want to register right away now that we're done with the official content, here you go. And we'll take on a couple questions from the audience now, if you have any. Do you have to be on site all day? That's a great question. No, you don't have to be on site all day, of course. We provide to you an environment and resources throughout the hackathon to perform well, meaning we'll have mentors present on site for you to ask questions and help you with your development process. But if you want to take a break and not be on site all the time, that's fine by us. There are a couple calendar items that are going to be mandatory for your team as a whole. So you can just have one team member show up for the checkpoint times. There are going to be 3 of them, 1 on the Friday, 2 on the Saturday. Just moments where we have conversation with your team to make sure you're progressing, you're not stuck in a bottleneck, so we can find you a mentor to push things forward. So really benefit completely from this 48 hours. No need to be there all the time, as long as there's one teammate present for each of these mandatory calendar items, and we'll cover all of that in the onboarding session on the 21st. Do we have other questions? Well, frequent question we get is, can you register as a team or as a person? So clearly, I think we've answered that. You can register alone. You don't need a team. We will support you in finding one. If you want to find a team, make sure you have a very fleshed out profile with lots of information out there so people can actually see what skills, what things you could bring to the table and onboard you in their teams. I think we already covered that. I need to travel to attend. Do you provide travel vouchers? That's not part of this hackathons program. No, we are mainly targeting people from the area. If you do need to come from outside Helsinki, the greater Helsinki area, or even from Estonia or the neighboring country, feel free to send me an email. We can help you arrange your trip if you're not familiar with where to stay, where the Metropolia campus is. We can definitely help you with that, but there won't be travel vouchers for this program. Okay. I think this concludes our session. If you have any more questions coming up to your mind, feel free to send it to us by email, by messages on our social channels. There's a chat bot on the registration page where you can also contact us and we'll answer any question. There are no dumb questions in hackathons. It's all about the mindset of finding solutions. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you again to our partner organization for making this hackathon happen. And I hope to see you on the weekend of the hackathon at the end of November. Goodbye, everyone.